Think about the last big football or baseball game you watched. Maybe a coach went for it on fourth down when maybe they should have punted or kicked a field goal. Or maybe in a baseball game that you were watching, a team shifted its entire defense to one side of the field or changed pitchers earlier than you or the announcers expected. Or maybe a basketball team kept shooting threes even after they missed several of them in a row. Those decisions were probably not based on just the coach's gut feeling of them going, no, yeah, let's go ahead and do that for whatever reason. No, most of the time these days, it's based on analytics and data. And today I'm going to explain to you how data and sports analytics as a whole have changed in professional sports over the years. And in the past, many of these coaches relied on their instinct or their experience as a coach and what had worked in the past. It wasn't a very sound system. Coaches often based their choices on what felt right in the momentum of the game. But with the introduction of sports analytics, it allows for a more numerical approach and sound approach to major coaching decisions. Teams now use data models to calculate probabilities, like the chances of converting a fourth down or the value of taking a three instead of a mid-range jumper. For example, football analytics show us that teams are often better off going for it on fourth and short instead of punting, especially near midfield or late in a game. And according to the league data analysts, aggressive fourth down decisions can significantly improve a team's chances of winning over time. In basketball, shot selection has changed dramatically over the years comparatively to when our parents watched basketball in the 70s and 80s. Analysts found that three-pointers and shots closer to the rim are more efficient than long twos. And teams now design offenses to create those higher value shots. And the shift in play and pace of play in the NBA has seen the rise of scoring in the NBA. So now the scores are higher with analytics. And analytics also have changed how teams evaluate their talent on their teams. In the past, scouts often focused on traditional statistics and visual observation, like a prospect's raw talent or a player's overall mechanics. But now teams use advanced metrics to gain a better understanding of player impacts, like baseball scouts who look at stats like on-base percentage and slugging percentage instead of using old-school batting average. And batting average can still apply, but now it's more advanced. And analysts have found that getting on base consistently helps teams score more runs than just hitting. And in football, advanced metrics like EPA, ADOT, and CPOE can tell a scout how impactful a quarterback is for an offense, which doesn't just apply to quarterbacks. There's other advanced metrics. Thanks to other analytics, teams can now find undervalued and underscouted players who contribute in ways that the raw numbers do not show most of the time. The influence of these analytics goes beyond just the front office, though. It's changed the actual style of play in multiple sports. Like I mentioned earlier with baseball, defensive shifts have become common because these analytics and data show where certain hitters are hitting the ball the most to which side of the field. Pitchers also have begun throwing more breaking balls and high fastballs because analytics have showed coaches and pitchers that those pitches are statistically harder to hit. And in a sport like basketball, teams now take more threes than they did 20, 30 years ago. Offenses spread the floor and create more space, and players at nearly every position are expected to be able to hit threes, at least in the NBA. This change overall is directly tied to a team's efficiency data. And then like in football, teams pass more, often on early downs, because the data shows that it's usually more effective than running the ball in those situations. And play calls have become more aggressive and less predictable. Analytics highlight which strategies often provide the best long-term results in games, which is today often why a lot of games in sports today look differently than they were played when our parents were growing up watching these sports. And sports will always include emotion and momentum and human decision making. That is one aspect of it. Sometimes you'll have coaches completely ignore the analytics and go for it on 4th and 10, because why not? But analytics didn't remove those elements. It added an extra element of just an extra tool in a coach's toolbox. And in short, sports analytics changed professional sports by improving human decision making and helping with player evaluation, reshaping how the games are played on the field and on the court. And what started as just spreadsheets and statistics in the background has now become a central part of modern sports strategy. The next time you see a surprising coaching decision or a new style of play, there is more than likely a good chance there was data and analytics used to make that call. So whether you as a fan realize it or not, data is now the most valuable tool in a coach's toolbox for your team.